Recently, Answer Team Live interviewed Kathy Mepham of Encompass. Encompass is one of our vendor partners, and they are a recruiter for the staffing industry. During the interview, Kathy talked about their technology SmartView, which allows them to, after a client has selected a resume or several resumes of candidates that they're interested in, those candidates can then take a SmartView interview, which is an interview with predetermined questions that is recorded via the web. Once the interview is complete, the client can then log in and watch the interviews, and they can easily compare and contrast the candidates. One of the big advantages that Encompass feels is generally staffing industry recruiters, especially if they're recruiting remotely, are only phone screening the candidates. They never really get to meet them, to see their personality live, to see if they're a good fit for the particular staffing organization. So the technology really serves two purposes. It allows Encompass to actually see and meet the candidate via the web, but also allows the client, before taking the time to bring the candidate in for an in-person interview, to pre-screen them by watching this pre-recorded interview and making a determination whether the person's background as well as their personality and business cultural fit will work within their staffing organization. So we're in the SmartView system right now, and we have several open positions where candidates have interviewed for. So I'm going to click the View button, and this is going to bring me to one of the jobs where there is a list of candidates that have gone through a particular interview. And we can see that the candidate database is loading on the right-hand side. So if I want to go ahead and watch a particular interview, I can just go ahead and click the thumbnail of the candidate, and that video will load. So we can watch the candidate answering a particular question. We can pause the interview at any time. And let's say that we want to move on to another question. We can simply just take our mouse, and when we hover over the number, there's actually 7 questions in this particular series. We can see what the question is in advance. We can go ahead and click on the number, and it will load the candidate responding to that question. One of the cool things is that let's say that you want to hear the response of a candidate answering the exact same question. Well, if we use these navigation buttons, we can actually move down to the next candidate in the list, Jessica Hart, and here's Jessica answering that exact same question. And we can go through the database doing this so that we can get the response from all the candidates, or the candidates that we actually want to hear their response. Another cool thing about this system seems to be that you can add comments to a particular interview or a particular candidate. So you can see here under Christie's interview, there are some shared comments between colleagues. So it really helps the team collaborate on the interviews and determine as a group whether to bring the candidate in for a further in-person interview. So that is a little overview of the SmartView technology interview system. Seems like it's new technology, but seems to be very, very valuable, especially in the pre-screening process, where a lot of time is typically spent on in-person interviews, and this system seems like it would save a lot of time by allowing you to screen out candidates without having to spend all that time with them in person. So we thank Kathy for allowing us to take the technology for a little test drive. If you're interested in learning more about Encompass or SmartView, you can reach Kathy at kathy@encompasshire.com, or you can also call her at 888-820-0616.